People seem to think they fall into one of two categories: extrovert or introvert. We all know the stereotypes attached to these words. Extrovert, loud, outgoing, the life of the party. Introvert, shy, quiet, awkward, hates everyone, probably a little weird. And before I became the ambivert I am today, I definitely fell more into the introvert category. And despite the popular belief of most people who knew me growing up, I was not shy, I was not mute. That wasn't my issue. I mean, sure, I freeze up sometimes, but most people do. When I was very young, I picked up on verbal language faster than most people do, and I always had a bigger vocabulary than most other people my same age, and I guess this is because I used to listen more and talk less. I was more concerned with observing what was going on in the environment around me and trying to make sense of it rather than trying to be a part of it. Look, I was always quieter than the other kids, but I wasn't always the white noise machine people in middle and high school thought I was, okay? I used to be somewhat outgoing. See, in elementary school, being your own person was okay. Maybe you draw, maybe you play sports, maybe you sing, maybe you act, maybe you write, maybe you're a gamer. Even if you're a quiet kid in elementary school, once you make one friend who you really connect with, you start making more friends through them, and start to even gather the confidence to initiate talking to more people on your own. Lots of other kids in my class had similar interests and personality traits to me. Not everyone had the exact same personality as me, and you know what? That's okay. Being too similar or too different from everyone else is never any fun. In elementary school, I was simply just vibing. I wasn't super loud, but I talked to people, I had fun with friends. I felt like I could be myself. I didn't feel nervous to simply be me. I was confident in myself and my abilities and hobbies. But once middle school started, shit changed. Of course, I wasn't the idiot who showed up to the first day of 6th grade decked out in brony gear in the name of self-expression. But on the first day of middle school, I wore a normal enough outfit so that I blended in, but I still added my own little twist to it. I noticed most other 6th graders were also doing the same thing as me. Trying not to fit in or stand out too much. And for a while that worked for me. But later on in middle school, I noticed all of the other girls around me, and even boys too for that matter, starting to dress the same, talk the same, eat the same, everything. Everyone became clones of each other. If you stepped out of line, or God forbid you showed 2% of your real personality,
that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us.
I was able to blend in for a while, but eventually the standards to not be socially ostracized became so complicated that I couldn't keep up. It felt as though every single day one trend was dying and another started. I'd wake up every morning to see a new song, a new food trend, a new celebrity, a new fashion trend, a new whatever that I had never seen before trending on Instagram. I remember thinking, less than 24 hours ago I didn't know this existed. Where the f did this come from? What the f is this? And I tried to familiarize myself with it before I came to school because if you seemed too out of touch with what was popular, you were shunned. Eventually, I decided, you know what? I can't keep up with this shit anymore. But I don't want to get shunned. You know what? Fuck this. I don't need anyone. I'm gonna reject them before they can reject me. So I woke up one day, put on my biggest, darkest hoodie, let my bangs fall into my face, put my headphones in, and I shut the world out before they could shut me out. The first week or two I heard the comments, yo, what happened to Violet? Violet, are you still alive? Damn, I never thought Violet could get any quieter. I wasn't completely mute. If someone spoke to me, I'd give a minimal response. I'd initiate talking to someone if I knew I absolutely had to. Eventually, most people just forgot I existed. No one really gave me a hard time, but I had fell off the face of the earth, just like I wanted to. And as horrible as this sounds, at the time, I would have rather not show any part of myself than show a fake version of myself or risk being myself and getting shunned for it. I became that shadow in the corner, and that's how I stayed, for the next 5 years. At lunch, I'd sneak away from everyone and go do some emo shit by myself in a nearby park. I was at that school for about 1 more year. I eventually got kicked out because I was super depressed and anxious all the time. I wasn't working, and I always looked pissed off. A lot has happened since then. I was at another school in New York for a few years where I let certain people into my life and the worst happened. Then I was sent to Utah treatment for 2 years for being out of control. Those are all a bunch of intertwined stories that can be saved for another time. But for now I'll say this. I've been back home for more or less a year now, and parts of that mentality I developed in late middle school stayed with me for a long time and didn't leave. And I thought that mentality was protecting me all these years, but it took a long time to realize it was actually holding me back in life. I started to push myself to become more outgoing in healthier ways. And as an adult, I realized the real friends who have been by my side for most of my life stayed with me because they always liked my personality, and I always felt comfortable showing my personality around them, and vice versa. People don't keep you in your life simply because they pity you. They just don't. No matter how quiet or outgoing you are, you don't stay in a person's heart and memory unless they know and love you for who you truly are. Look, whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert, you don't need to change that part of yourself. If you're an introvert, no one expects you to always be the loudest person in the club. If you're an extrovert, no one is asking you to play who can be quiet the longest. But for people who consider themselves introverted and have taken it to the extreme that I did for a good chunk of my life, let me give you some real advice that I wish I could have given myself a long time ago. You're going to embarrass yourself sometimes. You're going to have things that happen in your life that you wish you could undo or erase from your memory. Life doesn't play out like a perfect Disney fairy tale for anyone. There are 8 billion people on this planet. Not every single one of them is going to like you for who you are, and vice versa, and that's okay. I'm grateful that I've always had the gift of being able to take a step back, observe my environment, and just listen. But taking it to an extreme where I purposefully kept almost everyone shut out in order to avoid getting hurt was the worst decision I'd ever made. Everyone I hold near and dear to me is a part of my life because I dared to be myself around them. Not everything is going to go how you want in life all the time. 1 out of every 10 times you try to make small talk with someone new, you might get fuck off thrown in your face. But hey, that says way more about them than you because they don't know what they're missing out on and you're cool as fuck. Okay, maybe don't talk to the employee who looks like they're about to get off a 16-hour shift. Use your judgment and sense, obviously. But if you're with a group of people around your same age, try to make small talk with someone you like to get to know better. Obviously, don't bust out with your whole life story, but every little step that you take towards building a connection with someone helps develop an even stronger new relationship as time goes on. That's the truth about life. If you go through life being yourself, a good percentage of it will still be shitty some days. But there will be lots of good memories that will have came about because you pushed yourself out of your comfort zone, and that you should always hold near and dear to your heart. And I'm pretty sure grade school has changed in the past 10 years, but no matter who you are and where you're at in life, always try to be the best version of yourself, but never try to stop letting yourself show, because it's what makes you the beautiful and unique person that you are. So yeah, I guess that's the point of this video. I just wanted to throw that advice out there to any of you who might be going through that get them before they get me stage that I did when I was younger. Quiet, loud, screen smart, street smart, whoever you are, that's okay, but never become an emotionless ghost instead of a person.